Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have something very special, something from all the way on the other side of the world. Doo-doo-doo-doo. A very special haul of MCo Cosmetics.
Future Julia here. Funny story, these didn't come from W Cosmetics. My next Australian makeup haul comes from W Cosmetics, so check the link in the description to check out that video.
Brought to me all of the way from Australia. So I have a whole bunch of goodies to try from MCoBeauty. I have never tried this Australian brand before. They're a pretty well-known, I feel like they're even known up here, in the United States where I am. They do kind of like dupes of more famous things, and they have a very affordable line of makeup. I think I have enough here to mostly put together a full face. I'm super excited to dive in and try it out. So in surveying the haul, we've got a foundation, we've got some blush, we've got an under eye concealer, we've got some bronzer, which looks suspiciously like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. We'll see. I hope it smells just as good. I'm excited to get to that one. And then we have a highlighter stick and a powder finish. And then to top it all off, we've got a nice little lip oil. So super excited. I've already primed my face. We're ready to go. I also have one of their little makeup sponges. So everything that we're using is from MCoBeauty. The makeup sponge is moistened. We've got our Miracle Flawless Skin Foundation. I feel like that is quite the title, so we're going to be expecting great things. I think we have this in the shade Pure Ivory. So it claims it is a natural buildable coverage, so we're super excited. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do a nice light coverage to start, and then if there's any areas where I feel like I need a little more, maybe where there's some hyperpigmentation, we'll address that. But we also have a concealer to get to, so we'll look a little fresher, a little more awake. But let's get started with the foundation from MCoBeauty. So I'm going to add a little bit to the back of my hand, as I usually like to. So I'm going to be using just the round side of the makeup sponge to get started. All right, so it's a little light, like we're in summer right now, so it's a touch light for me, but I think we'll be able to make it work, especially if we do a lighter coverage and then add a little bronzer. We'll be fine. First, let's get this hair out of my way. Oh yeah, that's blending out nicely. I do like it when you put on some foundation and it doesn't feel too heavy or obvious. Your skin just looks a little better. So as it sheared out to a nice light layer of coverage, we just look a little better over here, right? Like it's maybe a touch of redness on the other side, and this is just a little nicer. Yeah, it's definitely a natural finish. I don't feel like you can really tell even unless you get like right up in there. If someone's that close, they better not care you're wearing makeup. So it doesn't initially look like we're settling in any fine lines. I mean, any product is going to at least a little bit. I do feel like this thing is gigantic. I don't know what is with it, but it just feels like holding it and using it, like it just feels really big. So it's taking a minute to get used to it, but it's nice and firm, so I do like it. All right, so this is probably where I would stop for just a normal going out, going to work, running my errands, just a day-to-day look. I am curious to see how it builds though, so I'm going to try a second layer. No, I think it fits the bill. Like it claims that it is natural buildable, so we've got the natural part. Let's see how it builds. So for the first application, I put maybe a little more than one pump just because it was hard. It was the initial getting it going, so it can take a little while to get it going, and then the first bit that comes out isn't necessarily an average pump. So we have one more just regular full pump that we're going to try applying to what we have going on right here. So I do feel like the fine lines are becoming slightly more noticeable. We do have more coverage. I'm trying not to worry too much about being slightly light. It's mattering more, right? The more you put on, the more obviously the color is. And if the pigment doesn't quite match, you have a little more trouble, but it's not bad. Yeah, I definitely think I like the side with just one layer better, but that's generally my preference. So if you do like more coverage, you can kind of judge for yourselves how you feel about the side with the 2 coats. Since we got 2 coats, we're just gonna keep going. 2 coat the whole face, add a little warmth with the bronzer, and well, some concealer. I mean, there was not enough caffeine today. We need concealer as well. All right, I have liberated the Luminous Highlighter Pen. These are always so much fun when there's like a little clicker. There's something satisfying about that little click. All right, let's get it going and apply a little bit. I noticed this says highlighter. I'm a little concerned. I confused this for a concealer. We're about to find out. Sometimes highlighter just means like a lighter coverage, or not a lighter coverage, but a lighter color to help highlight under your eye, which you would like to do. So, you know, cross your fingers, root for me. This is going to be exactly what I need. All right, we see product, people. We finally made it. Okay. Oh, looks like a concealer. We're good. We're going in. Maybe not quite the right color for me, but we're gonna make it work. Oh yeah, I think with it being a little more of the yellow, it kind of covers up the darkness pretty well, so we're actually doing nicely. Okay, so here we have the concealed side and the unconcealed side. So we definitely have covered up a lot of the darkness. I was a little worried it might be a touch dark, but once it blended out, it wasn't. So I do think we're getting the highlight, right, which you do want under the eye. You know, that nice little triangle. I can't tell because it was just new out of the pen, or if it's a little odd. Yeah, it might have just been some newness. It just felt like there was some like dried product a little bit, which the very top of it could have been. So now that I have that out, that's looking a lot better. All right, let's do the other side, and then we'll bust out the powder. We'll get it set, and then we'll check in on it a little later to see how we're doing. As satisfying as those pens are to click, I feel like it's a little hard to control exactly how much of the product you get out. So I think we have more on this side. I kind of think it looks a little nicer. I'm always so worried to put too much concealer on because, you know, it's not quite like salt, but if you add too much, it's a little hard to walk it back. So you can always add more. I feel like we're going to put a tiny bit more over here, and then we'll set with the powder. Okay, I think we're fairly even now over here. The pen does remind me of like the YSL, like the Touche Éclat. I don't know if they still make that concealer. It was very similar. This isn't quite as illuminating, which can be nice, right? It depends on the look you're going for. I feel like this one strikes a nice balance between being like illuminating, but not being like glowy too much, right? Like it's more of a natural finish. All right, so now I have liberated the MCoBeauty Invisible Matte Pressed Powder. So this shade is Natural Beige. Going with a nice fluffy brush, get a little, you don't have to be too aggressive. It comes off of here pretty nicely. You know, sometimes you have to sort of swipe off the very top part when something is brand new. This was giving up the goods right away, so that was great. I didn't feel like I had to get too crazy with it, so. Yeah, that is definitely mattifying. I feel like we still have a little brightness over on this side, but since it is a colored powder, it is adding more coverage over here. Nothing wrong with it, just I do have dry skin, so I'm always concerned when something is so mattifying that over the course of the day it can end up getting a little extreme on myself. So we'll have to see. But let's get the other side now. I don't feel like we've exacerbated any fine lines, which is really nice. That's another thing I look out for with powder. It's one thing I love about the Kosas Cloud set. I mean, it is a colored powder, so you're adding a bit of coverage, but it's not too drying. It's not going to accentuate any fine lines. But this so far so good. I don't think I'll put a lot more powder on, maybe just a little bit in the T-zone, and we'll kind of leave it at that for right now. Yeah, it definitely took the shine down, and there wasn't even that much left on the brush, so very effective powder for that if you're looking for something nice and mattifying. Next up, we have the Silky Smooth Bronzer. So this is what I was saying, where it looks kind of wavy. It's got that pattern, kind of like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer does. And I love that bronzer, so high hopes. This doesn't smell like anything though. I have to say, I do enjoy the kind of tropical, coconutty vacation vibes from the Physicians Formula Bronzer. But for anyone who has a sensitivity to scents, you're probably pretty happy right now. Right, this one seems to have like loaded up the brush as well, just like the other powder where I kind of went in and immediately got powder on the brush. You didn't have to worry about like scraping off anything, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you're gonna get a decent amount on here, so we're going on vacation is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's definitely a little darker than the one I usually use, so it's perfect for summer. Definite vacation vibes. It's always fun to apply like a more powdery bronzer with like a nice giant powdery, or not, like a nice giant dome brush. So I don't know, that's just something I have fun doing. I don't know if anyone else does. But I think we've warmed up the skin. It looks pretty nice. We definitely have a matte look going here. Nothing wrong with that. It's a time and a place. So yeah, let's get some highlight going. Let's add a little sparkle. Well, it's not literally sparkle, but it's a little bit of shine. So what we have here is the Highlight and Glow Stick from MCoBeauty in the shade Champagne. I just love that name. It's a nice golden color, so I think this will be fun. More, again, summery vibes, which is nice because we're in the summer here. Again, we're starting conservatively, like the concealer. You can always add more. So we added a tiny bit. I feel like even that little bit really accentuated the lines. I don't think I had that much powder in that area, but maybe I had more than I thought. Very subtle. We'll try adding a little more and see what happens. Yeah, that's very subtle, just like a little bit of a slightly golden glow. All right, we'll get the other side, and then we'll come in with the blush. I usually do highlighter after blush, but since they're both cream-based products, I thought it might be kind of nice to sort of blend them in a little bit and just have like more of a glowy, blushy glow. All right, next up, we have the Cheek and Lip Tint. I think these are inspired, let's say, by the Glossier product. So this is Blush Red we're gonna start with. I do have two colors. I'm just gonna do one on each side because I can, and I have a hard time picking out like which blush I'm gonna like. since I haven't tried them, we're gonna try both together. And then with any blush product like this that kind of squeezes out of a tube, I do like to squirt a little bit on the back of my hand and then take just the smallest amount of my finger and then go in on the cheek. So we're gonna do the same here. It definitely comes out a little dark. I don't know. I'm always scared when that happens. It's usually okay, but we're gonna go in very gently here. Okay, it's not so bad. It's blending out nicely. I think I like that mixed in with the highlighter a little more than I like the highlighter on its own. I think that ends up giving like a nice little glow, because the look was a little matte for my taste, considering like I'm still in the summertime over here. Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be buildable, right? Like this is very dark, so you can certainly add more. It does say it's a lip tint. I do think I would like this color better as a lip tint than the Flamingo shade, so I'm gonna add a little bit of that right now. Channel my inner French girl, just like smear it on there with what was left on my fingertip. Okay, that's nice. May have gone a little ham, but it's also a little hard with your finger when you've already applied it to your cheek. It certainly feels nice. Like it doesn't feel sticky or weird at all. Like it just feels like nourishing. Like it just feels like I've added a little moisture. So that's a pleasant sensation. All right, let's put some of the Flamenco shade on the other side. And then the other lip and cheek tint product I have is Flamingo. I think I said flamenco earlier. I guess it's summer, I'm in the mood to dance. Apparently the color is not, it's just flamingo, which is fine, it's okay. We'll take it. Again, we'll take it on the back of the hand just a touch. Now I know this is potent, so we're really just using a tiny touch. Oh, it's a little more orange than I expected. Yeah, see, it's like more of an orangey pink, which is kind of fun. I thought it'd be more like bright pink, like bubblegum pink, which is why I didn't want to put that on the lips, but I think this would be all right. On the lips anyway, we'll see about the cheek. I don't feel like I put that much more on, but I've clearly put that much more on. So I feel like this color is a little more intense, which is kind of funny. It's really pretty though. It definitely feels more summer. This is a little more fall vibes because it's a little more berry. This is a little more high summer. It's a little much for me, so we're gonna like dab it a tiny bit. Oh yeah, that took it down just enough. I also feel like this color is blending in with that golden highlight a little better. Okay, so we're sold. I like this one, the flamingo color, winner. We're gonna try putting a little of this on the lips too, just because. Yeah, that's a little darker on the lips too. Okay, I don't think I like those two together on the lips. We're gonna undo that and we're gonna go with our final product, the lip oil. All right, so now we know flamingo and blush red in terms of the lip and cheek tint don't play well together on the lips. Don't do it. Probably don't play together on the face. They were never intended to do that. I just got carried away, which is fine. We're learning things together here on this channel. But now we're moving on to the blush oil. So this is the lip oil from MCoBeauty. I know lip oils have been all the rage. Very excited to try this one out. Looks slightly orangey red. Should be good though, I think, with what we have going on over here anyway. All right, we have a nice chunky doe foot applicator. So this is the first product I've noticed where there's a smell, like all of the other things unscented, right? But it's kind of nice when the lip products have a little bit of a smell to them. This one smells just like generic candy, like when you walk into a candy store and you just kind of smell like that sweetness from all the different candies mixed together. Really pleasant, it's nice. So this doesn't end up feeling too sticky. It just feels nice and rich and nourishing, like not like a too slippery of a lip oil. Like it feels like it's gonna stay in place. I don't think it added a ton of color, which, I mean, honestly, you don't necessarily want it to, right? Like it's a pretty thin lip oil. But it imparted like just a little bit. It feels very hydrating. Totally goes with the summer look we have over here. But that was fun. It was nice to get to try something different. I know some people have been either using MCoBeauty because they ordered it online or because you live in the Southern Hemisphere in Australia and you have access to these wonderful products. I do feel like it's a little matte for how I usually do things, but by the time we got done putting on some blush and the highlighter and a little bit of bronzing, like everything really came together nicely. And I'm super excited to see how it wears throughout the day. And if anyone else has any other MCo products that I have to try out, please let me know and I'll try to hunt them down. But in terms of a starter set, in terms of an initial first impressions, I really do like it. I feel like it didn't really accentuate any fine lines other than the highlighter. Highlighters always do. And the foundation look does look natural without being too matte. So definitely look forward to playing around with these some more and trying some more ones in the future. Thank you guys for joining me on this little trip down under. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you in the next one.